Hey, you're watching thefightnerd.com. This is Off Driver, the publicist for Dark Horse Comics. We're here at Toy Fair 2015, and we're here to talk about everything that's coming down the line for spring from Dark Horse. What are we looking at right here? A little bit of Game of Thrones action. There's a lot of Game of Thrones action coming down from our end, actually. This is a map marker set that we've created last year. We're showcasing it here just because people often don't get the scope of how big this thing actually is. This is for your table. If you were a huge fan of the show, you can actually lay this out. It's got a nice cloth over a vinyl feel to it, which is actually made from the replica from the show, to take your favorite house and move it along as you go with the show, as they say. Additionally, stuffs that we've got coming from Dark Horse, you can see a lot of the back product catalog that we've got here, between the figure sets, the different vinyl products. This Iron Throne replica is a very hot thing, for example. The busts that have all been sculpted by Gentle Giant and then produced by us. Or if you're just a Fringe fan and you like the show enough, but not enough to actually go and get a figure, you could always purchase some drinkware to drink along with the show at home, because we all know how much our fans love to have a little glass of something with them while they're watching their Game of Thrones. Additional things that we've got here are shot glasses, our Steinware patch sets, lunch boxes, etc. Anything that can really help the Game of Thrones fan enjoy the show that much better. The different sigils for the different houses are all available in patches and pins, etc. So we're really trying to produce as much quality product as we can. Let me take you over to the cases and show you what is coming down the line for spring here. The products that are coming out for the spring lineup in our figure line are going to be the Tywin Lannister, the Littlefinger, and the Joffrey character dropping in March. So if you swing around this way, you can actually catch them in the case here. And then we've got our Hodor and Bran figure dropping in June shortly thereafter. Great detailing on these. These are vinyl and plastic figures. You've also got a Brienne figure that'll be coming out shortly after our high-end collector's statue, which I'll take you over to in a moment. But the belle of the ball for the show has to be the Daenerys and Drogon statue, which is just gorgeous, the way that this has been created. Again, a Gentle Giant sculpt. Looks beautiful. It's a $425 price point, definitely for your high-end collector, and worth every penny. Just incredible attention to detail. And as I mentioned, there's another Brienne high-end statue coming in May. What we have here in this case is a fantastic looking Brienne of Tarth statue that truly is for the fans. Again, sculpted by Gentle Giant, made in resin. It looks incredible. And that's kind of what's happening for Game of Thrones, so I don't want to bore you anymore with that, but I will tell you about a couple other things that are really hot in the product world right now. Legend of Zelda. Everybody loves Zelda. So we've released a couple figures that were produced in the UK, and now we are distributing in the US. Previously, we did the Twilight Princess figures with Ganondorf and Zelda, and now we are releasing the Skyward Sword figures later this year. So what you're seeing are the prototypes, first ever debuted here at Toy Fair 2015, of Link and Skirbo. Additionally, we've got some fantastic products coming out for Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra, both great Nickelodeon properties that we've done a number of different publishing works for, New York Times bestsellers, art books, graphic novels, you name it. So we have our all ages Naga plush. She's beautiful and wonderful. And then we have our high-end collectors an Aang Memorial statue, which is beautiful, and at the $150 price point, worth every penny, coming straight out of the show, specifically for the fans. We released a very limited run of these at New York Comic Con 2014 last year, and they sold out in a day. So I have no doubt that this is going to be a hot item for any fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Also, in our comic lines, we have a couple different figures that are also coming out later this year. The Goon, Eric Powell's The Goon, very, very fun series, kind of spooky, weird noir, very funny, but also very serious and intense Eisner-winning story that this character, The Goon, is featured in. And so this was part of the Kickstarter campaign that raised over $400,000 to fund this CGI movie of The Goon that hopefully is coming out soon. But this particular sculpt was there and as a Kickstarter incentive, only was received by a few people. So we went back, colored it, repainted it, and now what you see is the product that will be coming in July, and hopefully at a $150 price point. Also at a $150 price point, Cal McDonald by Steve Niles, part of his Criminal Macabre series, a very twisted underground supernatural story featuring a very prominent frontman, Mr. Cal McDonald, with his cigarette and drink in hand. You can't get any better or more macabre than that. And lastly, I should point out our Judge Dredd, brand new Judge Dredd character for this particular show, sculpted by Mike McCann, the UK artist sculptor who's also working on our Zelda figures. Beautiful sculpt on this Dredd figure, very comic focused, 2000 AD render, very stylized. I think fans are going to love it. And lastly, we've got a line of ships coming for Halo that are going to be just fantastic. If you are a fan of the Halo franchise and you've never had any ships on your wall, but you've got a favorite, well, you're going to get it from Dark Horse fairly soon. What we have coming out in July is going to be the Pelican, and we also have the Infinity, which will be on shelves by San Diego Comic-Con, hopefully. And also we have a very unfinished version of the Covenant ship, just special in for Toy Fair 2015. That'll be coming out later this fall in a more colored, complete version. Lastly, the Frazetta line. Frank Frazetta, very, very popular fantasy sci-fi artist, Death Dealer being one of his most iconic paintings from 1973. We've got the Warriors coaster set, we've got the playing cards, we've got a snow globe, we've got a Stein, all of which featuring the Death Dealer iconic image. We're trying to bring Frazetta back into the household and really remind people of what the science fiction fantasy realm holds. And nothing says it better than the Death Dealer. And with that, I think that's pretty much what we've got going on here at Dark Horse for Toy Fair 2015.